Welcome to Signs for Life. I am Pastor Nicole Martin, and it is my privilege to journey with you today. Let's get ready for this week and have a little bit of fun. My privilege of being with you today at Signs for Life. This week, as I served both of my communities, Shepherd's Table and West Prairie Lutheran Church, I had the most wonderful week of thinking about miracles. Our theme for the week, embrace the miracle. What is a miracle? Quite an amazing piece of action by God in a mysterious and miraculous way, working through creation. And this text that I was wrestling with, Mark chapter 1, verses 21 through 45, what a glorious piece of learning for us in scriptures. If we go into the book of Mark, we recognize right up front that there's no birth narrative. The story starts right with John. Like, immediately, there is this holy energy and this holy emergency that has to be addressed, and so we have to get to the crux of the story as fast as possible. And we learn about John, and we learn about him baptizing Jesus, and we learn how Jesus is sent into the wilderness to be tempted, and Jesus comes back. So by Mark chapter 1, verse 21, Jesus has come back, and he begins teaching in the synagogue. And he teaches as one with authority. And then his next act is miracles. In that synagogue, he casts out an unclean spirit, and that evening at the house of the first disciples, people are bringing others to be healed, and Jesus heals them, and he offers them this new shape of life, this encounter with something beyond what is the hardship of the now. And as I wrestled with what exactly do these miracles have to do with the world and with us, I started reading these scholarly articles. And it was interesting for me that everybody said over and over and over that miracles are a way of pointing to God's authority in the world. God's authority in the world. And that made me ask, well, is that all a miracle is about? Is God proving God's self to the world? Well, I think miracles are important, and they do point us to God's authority. They remind us of God's power and majesty over all of creation, over nature. They remind us of God's kingdom and the ability of God to work through that kingdom. I wasn't sure that that was the only purpose for miracles, to point us to exactly who God is. And the reason I wasn't sure is because I think that the God that I know and I understand is a God of relationship. And so what is happening inside of those miracles that brings about this idea of relationship? You know, we think of God in the Christian tradition as Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. There's an intimate indwelling, a mutual respect and relationship that we have as Christian people. And if that is the case, then what is the deal with miracles, and how does it foster those relationships? Not just simply go, well, there's this God, and it's all about him. But isn't it also about God's creation and God's people? So as I started to wrestle with these thoughts and these questions, all of a sudden it dawned on me that miracles are, in fact, a way for God to work through creation to bring about restoration and healing. Let's go back to the Garden of Eden in the first book of the Bible, Genesis, in chapter 1 and chapter 2 and chapter 3, where God has created, and there's this beautiful symbiotic relationship with God's creation, and God actually goes into the garden and journeys with God's people, and he walks with them. But then brokenness happens. A disruption to the system happens, and it causes consequences. I think miracles performed by God are a way to restore the relationship back to its original intent. Miracles are a way of God working through creation to restore back to the original thought or the original plan and heal the broken parts of the world. So, if miracles are about offering healing in the midst of brokenness to restore humanity and to restore relationship with God, then what does that mean for us? And I challenge us today to think about this. We all, then, as children of God, as children of this creation, and children who are affected by the brokenness of the world, that sin, the brokenness of relationships, both relationship brokenness that we cause and relationship brokenness that has been caused to us. If we're affected by all of that, and then we seek to try to do something about it, to bring healing and offering healing, are then we not also participating in the miracle? The miracle of life given to us by God? I think so. So on this week, I ask us to embrace the miracle as a sign for life, a way for us to say that when we embrace the miracle, that when we reach out and grab our neighbor's hand and journey with them through despair, we are saying that we are embracing the miracle that God gives us of restoration of life beyond death. We are embracing the miracle of the cross, that this baby would be born and become the incarnate God for us. And through miracles and healing of the world and healing those places of brokenness, that we are jumping into that narrative with Jesus to offer restoration in our time and place as God's hands and feet in the world. We are saying boldly that that miracle thing is so amazing and audacious, and it has done something so beautiful for us that we want to respond to it and jump into the middle of this place with God and what God is up to, and embrace the miracle and be part of the healing process for our neighbor, journeying with them through all life circumstances. So, embrace the miracle, folks. Embrace the joy of restoration. Embrace the joy of being light in the world and offering kindness and generosity. Especially in a time where there's many of us worried about what the future holds. Is there possible military action coming by the United States in the world of political discord? What is happening? Are we worried about money? Are we worried about all of these things? And all of that worry, it filters out into places of brokenness. So how can we, as children of the miracle, children of the way that God works in the world to bring healing, how can we participate in that? So jump in, embrace the miracle, smile really big, embrace the joy of life given for you. So, to do this, I invite you to go out and walk in the hope of Christ. Be a sign of life for your neighbor. Dance with them, smile with them, breathe deep with them, pray with them. Show them that hope is a way of life. Ciao to you all on this day. Beautiful kisses to you each. Be blessed in the world and offer the miracle of life to others through your generosity, love, and kindness. Ciao!